Hello, and welcome to Miss Peeper's Reading Corner. I'm Katrina, and this is my very first YouTube video on my very first YouTube channel. And I'm excited to talk to you all about books. Since it's January, I want to talk about some of my goals, reading goals for this year. First of all, I want to read 85 books throughout the course of 2024. Feels doable for me. Your number may be higher or lower. 85 feels about right to me. That's about 7 and some change books a month. I also want to read 6 giant books, big ass books, if you will. And some of these books are aligned with the Game of Tomes read along, which I'll link for Emmy and Carolyn Marie Reads that they're posting together. And some of them do not. I'm sticking with books that I already own that I want to read, so I can work through my physical TBR a little bit. So I'll just go through these. First of all, Don Quixote. This, as you can see, I'm actually most of the way through it. I started this book in 2021. It's long, it's episodic. I'm not disliking it, it's just long, episodic, and I haven't really been focusing on it. I keep getting distracted by other shorter books, and so I want to finish this one. So that's the first one on the list. I'm giving myself about 2 months, I think, for each of these. So 2 months to finish Don Quixote, which is entirely doable. I have about 50-ish chapters left, so I'm working through that. Next, and this is one that Carolyn and Emmy are reading in March and April. It's Middlemarch by George Eliot. I feel like I read Daniel Deronda a really long time ago, but I don't remember it very well, so we're going to call this my first George Eliot. And I'm pretty excited about this one, even though it is fairly massive, but from everything I've read about this, it reads pretty quickly, so we'll see if that's the case. I'll get back to you. And then a reread for me is another one from Game of Tomes, Lord of the Rings. I have an edition with all 3 books in it. You can see it's the movie edition. And I have read this. You can see the spine is well creased and well loved, but it's been a little while, so I'd love to read this one again. And then David Copperfield. So this is one that I actually started last year. You can see I'm a little bit in. And I started reading this thinking that I would read this and Don Quixote at the same time, which was a mistake. Pro tip, don't do that. Just read one giant classic at a time. And so I'm excited to get back to this one when I have time to dedicate and focus on it. And then this is another Game of Tomes read-along book, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I actually have read this, but I'd love to read it again. It's just a beautiful, massive, I guess I'd call it a newer, soon-to-be classic fantasy novel, and I'm very excited to read this again. There's so much in it that even though I'm familiar with the story, I think I'll glean more from it for a second reading. And then finally, The Mists of Avalon. So this is more of a feminist retelling of the King Arthur legend. I read this a very, very long time ago. I really don't remember it, other than I recall, I think I was a teenager when I read it, when the characters get to middle age, which is where I am right now. I felt that it got kind of boring, so I'm curious to see, now that I am middle-aged, if this will be more my speed than it was when I was a lot younger, so we'll find out. But anyway, those are the 6 big books that I really want to read this year, out of the 85 total. So I'll be reading, of course, a lot of other things in between. But I'm very curious about what you're reading as well, what you're planning to read. If you have read any of these books, let me know what you thought of them. And if you're planning to read them, maybe you can read them along with me. So I'm excited to continue to talk about books on this channel, and I guess I'll just say goodbye now.